I started having anxiety attacks. I was about to get ready to graduate, and something was happening in me where my chest was tightening more and more all the time. And my father had died of a heart attack a couple of years before. And so I started to get very scared that I was going to have a heart attack because I would get so anxious. And it was keeping me from leaving the house. I didn't want to go into town because I didn't want to be startled and have my heart start to pump. And so I was really in a bind. And I was an undergrad student, so I would go to these graduate students, who were doing clinics, and I would explain what was going on and really not get anything back. They would kind of sit there with their notebooks like, uh-huh, you know. And then by an association, I found out, I was told that there are people in Connecticut doing something called body-centered therapy. And so I thought that really makes a lot of sense. And I made an appointment in Putnam, Connecticut, and drove out there and met one of our trainers, John Eisman. And he was there with an assistant. And I went in there and I explained what was going on with me. My chest was always tight. I was always afraid to breathe. And he decided he was going to take over the tightness in my chest. And so he said, "Can you show me where that is?" And again, when is this? This is late 70s. And so he did. He took his hand and he put it where the tightness was and he tried to match it. And he had to push pretty hard because the tension was pretty hard. And at one point, he finally matched it enough. He held it enough with the help of his assistant. He matched that tension enough so that I took the first deep breath that I had taken in months. I could finally breathe. And I took a couple of breaths. And then what do you think happened? Anybody have any ideas? You can write it in the chat. Yes. I started to let my grief come, and not only my grief, but also the terror. I was there when my father died. I watched him. So I had terror in my system and deep, deep grief that I wasn't allowed to express because our family didn't express grief. Nothing was wrong. And so I didn't know what to do with my grief. There was no outlet except to start tightening and holding against any sad thought, any longing, any deep, deep sadness of having missed him that was unintegrated in my being. I was not able to experience that in my life, that deep hurt and loss. And so when he took over those muscles and I could cry and let go what was underneath that tightening, now I had deep insight. Oh, that's what's going on with me. And oh, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could feel these things. I didn't know you could express these things. And my symptoms were gone in 2 sessions with him. Just managing that tightness, feeling what was underneath it. When he would hold that tightness for me, I would start to and find out what was underneath that tightness. So that really changed my career, of course. I knew what I was going to do with my training.